fucking fire, bro. Man, absolutely smash that.
So in today's video, I'll be speaking at Rob Lipsett's mastermind, where I'll be breaking down exactly how to hit $100,000 per month using Instagram. And I'm going to be walking through a step-by-step playbook of exactly how we did that for one creator in particular who went from $0 to $200,000 on a brand new offer in just over 60 days. And we're going to be covering a lot of ground in this video, everything from how to come up with the right content ideas that actually get you attention, how to set up the right sales systems and funnels. But most importantly, I'm going to be sharing with you how to turn Instagram into actual serious revenue for your business. Now, if you're a coach or a consultant or you sell any kind of e-learning product, the strategies and tactics that I'm about to share in this video will be absolutely invaluable for you for scaling your business. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the mastermind.
I'll let Simon Shaw introduce himself. Shaw, I call him Shawpreneur. So this guy is actually knows what he's doing instead of just throwing up content. He's got a very systemized back end type of thing. And so I won't take away too much from you. I'll let you fire away.
Yeah, so when Rob asked me to speak, he says everyone here is a lot of guys in the online coaching space, fitness space, wanted to build their personal brand. So I thought, when I go to a mastermind, I love when someone gives me just tactical stuff. Do this, do that, not very high level. So I want to give you something tactical, but I only want to speak for about 10, 15 minutes. And then I want to pass it over to everybody. Whatever questions you have, whatever advice you want to get when it comes to personal brand, growing with content, monetizing, whatever it is, I don't care. I want to pass it over to you and make it a very customized sort of talk here. So I've got about 4 or 5 slides, nothing crazy, but I want to do everything through the lens of a recent case study in the fitness space that I worked with. So essentially, we turned someone from a commoditized fitness brand into an authority brand, gained them approx on a brand new offer that we launched, approx 200K revenue and 130,000 followers in about 60 days, maybe a little bit more days. Now,
I actually know the individual, so I can verify it. And again, you guys were so amazing with the questions on the last speaker, David. So yeah, more of that. 100%. Honestly, the back and forth is invaluable, I think.
100%. So if you don't know who I am, most of you probably don't. My name's Simon Shaw. I'm from Belfast. On social media, I go by Shawpreneur. I own a company called Viral Growth, right? And I do things a little bit differently from David and Rob and everybody. They're the faces of their own massive personal brands. What I do is I actually co-own 5 other personal brands in the coaching space, info space. I have a larger group in just on revenue shares, and then I have a big base of consulting. So I act sort of as a behind the scenes or behind the curtain person on operations, on strategy, everything like that. And I let someone else do all the fucking content because I don't want to do it.
Smart.
So
can I be you?
So I pushed well over 1 billion views, multi-millions of followers and dollars for ourselves as a company, and more importantly for clients. So just a bit of background on myself. Now, this is the case study. The name is Mike Rodor. Maybe you may or may not know who he is. He's actually based out of Marbella. So I started working with Mike end of June, beginning of July. This is a screenshot of his account from March time. I wasn't working with him then. Until June, he got his account up to roughly 30, 40,000 followers-ish. And then this is basically today, 169,000 followers. And we'll walk through the pivots that we made to get him from where he was to where we got him to now.
It's always 6'9". What's the story with that number? Yeah. What's going on?
Favorite number. So there were some problems with the brand before I started working with Mike. So he had all this expertise. If you don't know his story, he founded this great company in Denmark, sold his company, made a lot of money, had all the authority in the world. But when it came to actually offering coaching services, he was selling basically the most commoditized version of the fitness offer that you could offer. And maybe this will resonate with some guys, but I'm speaking to Ben, actually, there's ways that we can frame the offer to be charging way more money to a smaller group of people and essentially make more and stand out and become an authority brand in a very specific space. So he was selling a commoditized fitness offer, was charging about $250 per month for coaching. And most of his existing audience that hadn't already purchased his coaching, they just weren't really even going to afford $250 a month, right? And the content wasn't attracting anyone who could pay more than that, right? So those are the key problems. And we made some pivots to address that. So 3 strategic pivots. So pivot number 1, you have to remember that high pain or high ROI equals high price. So the more pain that your offer solves, whether it's fitness related, health related, whatever it may be, or more ROI you can generate, might not be as applicable for fitness offers, the more you can charge, right? If your offer is a very generic fitness offer with essentially no marketing angle and no specific pain, you're not going to be able to basically command whatever price you want. You will be stuck in that lump of people who are charging what everyone else is charging, right? The lower end prices, if you just have a very generic, non-specified offer, okay? So with Mike's offer, we dove into the mind of our avatar, of our ideal client. Like, what do they want? Okay, why do men want to get in shape? And it usually falls into the big three: health, wealth, relationships, right? You want to look good. You maybe want to be taken more seriously at work or in business, or maybe you want to get a girlfriend, or make your wife respect you, or whatever it may be, right? Health, wealth, relationships, those are usually the three things. So we kept asking ourselves, why? Why do you want to get healthier? Why do you want to get richer? Why do you want to have a better relationship, right? And we basically noted that most men, I suppose this is both the same thing, but most men and people in general, they're scared of not unlocking their full potential in any of those three areas, right? Even if you're already successful, you might think, how much more have I got left in the tank? And why am I not tapping into that, right? So Mike specifically came to the realization that the key thing that we're focusing on is self-sabotage. That is what then we focused our offer around. So ambitious men, how do we stop you from self-sabotaging your own potential in health, wealth, and relationships? And that is what we switched. It was the same deliverables of the product, right? You still go to the gym, you still wake up early, you still have your habits and your mindset and all this stuff. But we're framing it through a different lens. It's the same package, but delivered in a different way, right? I was chatting to Ben actually before this, and Ben has this amazing story. If you haven't chat to Ben. He's got this insane story. Car crash, basically broke his neck, couldn't walk. Now he's like benching 100 kilos, like doing all this crazy fitness stuff, right? He's a fucking, he's a fucking,
yeah. Honestly, me and Ben trained together on day one or before day one, and honestly, hearing his story, and he's a fucking beast in the gym as well, really psyched me up, and we had a great session. Yeah,
he's a fucking beast. Speak to Ben; he's a legend.
Yeah,
but he was asking me, okay,
he liked Ben,
and he's from Northern Ireland as well.
He's a paid actor. He's a paid actor. It all makes sense now. Big Belfast, global. Belfast.
So Ben has this unique story, right? He was going to go down the path of just meal plans and gym workouts, whatever. But he has this unique angle. Went through this thing, couldn't walk, rehabbed himself. Now, he could sell that to anyone. Like anyone who had an issue, broke their leg, whatever it was, just regular average Joe from the street, however much you could sell that for, I'm not too sure. But what if he spoke to an NBA player who had a wrecked knee or whatever he has wrecked about himself? How many days he's off that sport is how many millions is that costing him, right? So it's the same thing. Joe Schmo could have his knee wrecked, or LeBron James could have his knee wrecked. It's the same problem, but one has a significantly higher pain, right? And that is where someone like Ben could come in, right? And solve that problem for that specific person with a much higher pain point. It's the same thing packaged just a little bit of a different way. So whatever you're selling, find a way to put a unique spin on it, pitch it to a higher income person, the higher end of the market. You can charge 10x, 20x more for the exact same thing. It's really that simple. You can even look at it from a physical product standpoint, right? How much would you pay for a pair of jeans? 30, 40, 50 quid, right? There's a company called Barbell Jeans. All the body stretchy jeans, probably a few boys in here got them. 150, 200 quid. Still a pair of jeans, but marketed in a specific way through a different angle. So it's all about how you're framing the offer specifically towards a specific pain point, right?
There's actually a girls' jeans company called Fit Jeans. Why do you all know what that is, lads? All the lads are like, yeah, seen them. But Fit Jeans, and they're crazy expensive. Yeah. And again, they're marketed towards girls that lift. Yeah.
Same jeans, different price point, right? So now instead of $250 per month, we've had people pay us up to $20,000, right? So I call this problem price matching. So high problem, big price, okay? Now, pivot number 2 is, okay, it's all great if you have an offer that's high paying, high price, whatever. Okay. If we don't have an audience of those specific people, it doesn't matter, you won't sell it, right? So pivot 2 was audience refinement. Before, I think a big issue that maybe I'm going to get it jumped outside the villa. I think a big mistake that a lot of fitness guys make is they're showing off the physique too much, in the sense of it's too much me. You need to put it back on the viewer, talk about their problems, their insecurities, their issues, give them the value, and you'll start to attract more people that you want, right? 100%. It's not all about you. It's all about putting it back on them. So,
yeah. Wait, so just before we go on there, I was having a conversation with someone 2 minutes ago in the deli. I think it was Mitch, about talking about, we were talking about your physique and Instagram. And back in the day, 2015 Gymshark era, your physique was really important because there was no video. You literally you couldn't upload videos to Instagram, and there was no reels, there was no TikTok, there was no videos. The main thing, no one was speaking. Oh, you couldn't do stories. It was literally just all you could do was post and a caption. So your physique was kind of important because you couldn't give your personality. You couldn't show people how you move, your characteristics, who you are as a person. So 10 years ago, in that Gymshark Jeff Side era, yes, physique was all you had essentially. Now it is just becoming increasingly less important, to the point where you kind of alienate yourself by having such a good physique. It still is like, it's great for getting views, but you need to match it with your credibility and your information and the values you provide, the values that you come with and the problems that you solve. So it's becoming less and less important, especially when you compare it to that 2015 Body Power Gymshark era.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that I come from myself.
and like the physique is obviously good, like just from a general respect standpoint, it's like, okay, you're preaching this. You also want to see that the person is walking the walk, right? Yeah. But
there is definitely like I still really do recommend to for yourself to get in your best shape possible, just for your own mind and everything. But it is becoming less.
But in terms of attracting the richest people that could pay you the biggest prices, there's other things that are more important, right? So, in Mike's situation, his current content wasn't attracting people that could pay more than $250 per month because he was falling into that trap, right? He wasn't speaking directly to the person with the problems he could solve that could pay the big money, right? So we started attacking the very specific problem faced by his ICP. We literally just started changing our entire hooks to speak directly to them. For example, bro, your business is crushing it. Why are you fat as fuck? And then just riffing on that, spitting motivation for 30 seconds. I swear,
I've seen Mike's stories.
That's like,
I really like that.
That's how direct we went with it, right? Like you literally have to call them out so specifically, and then you will attract them in, right? Of course, you attract other people as well, but you start to bring in the higher income people. Yeah. Once we started putting out this kind of content, that was a lot more specific. The DMs were getting flooded with, and I click on the profiles, I see the verified badge, I see the companies in the bio, I read the conversations, business people that actually have money that are like, man, I've been capped at my income level for 5 years. I don't know what I need to do to break through. Or it's like, I've made all this money, but I'm out of shape. I don't know. I've tried everything. I can't break through. Or everything's going great. I'm in shape. I've got money, but the spark's gone with the wife. I don't know how to bring it back. Things like that, where they feel like they're capped in their potential, and they keep self-sabotaging themselves. They walk into, or they go through the motions of trying to get better, but they drop off after a month or 2 months. Then that's where we came in with a solution to get that a lot more consistent, right? So in terms of content, I have what's called the magic ratio. So 40, 40, 20. This is the ratio of content styles and levels of awareness that you want to be posting. So it's top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, 40, 40, 20. Top of funnel, just designed to get as much views as possible. If you see someone in the fitness space getting tens of millions of views, generally it's a top of funnel piece of content. And what that is talking about topics that are very broadly, how should I say, more mass aware. It's a topic that everybody knows about.
And everyone has an opinion on it.
Everyone has an opinion they can weigh in on, right? The way these algorithms work is they have each and every one of us categorized on the back end in some big database on what we're interested in, right? And by pure definition, if you have a topic of a video that's speaking to one of those topics that billions or hundreds of millions of people are interested in, you will get pushed to more people, okay? You'll get way more views, way more followers, right? Because more people are categorized in that category. But if you're making content only about, some hyper specific, scientific thing that's like, some cell of the body, it's like, there's like 5 people interested in that. And like, you're never going to break through a couple hundred views, right? That's the issue, right? So top of funnel is pure high awareness topics, 40% of those per week. So let's say you're doing 1 reel a day, 2 to 3 reels a week, top of funnel, mass awareness content. 2 to 3 reels a week then is middle funnel. This is just your classic value. This is like 3 tips to do whatever. Here's how to do X, Y, and Z. Just your value. Everyone knows how to do that already. 2 to 3 reels a week, value content. And then bottom of funnel, depends how big your audience is. The bigger you are, the more CTAs you can push. But when you're a little bit smaller, 1 to 2 to maximum 3 CTAs per week, which is your bottom of funnel, okay? So that's your stories, that's posts. In every single video anyway, well, not everyone, but most videos, you should have a ManyChat comment set up just for lead capture. Every single person that comments, they get a DM. You nurture that conversation. You see if they have a problem that you can solve. Either you're doing that personally or you have a setter involved. they nurture that conversation. Fun fact, actually 70%, and this goes across not just Mike, but this goes across the brands that I co-own as well. Between 60 and 70% of the clients we close, they originate from a ManyChat comment. So it's not link in bio, it's not story. Those are great, they work, right? Link in bio is very passive. Story, you can get some people putting up their hand to DM to work with you. But 60 to 70% are people that are commenting for a free thing. And then you have either yourself or a setter coming in and nurturing them through a conversation, finding out the problem, seeing if you can fix it, and booking them on for a call. 60 to 70%. If you're not hammering those kind of automations, I'm going to talk about it in the next slide, you're literally leaving money on the table, right?
Yeah. And what do you think the reason for that is do you think because it's so direct that people get hit with a notification DM, like that's why it converts so well?
It's just reciprocity, right? Yeah. Give something to them, they're more inclined to, and if the resource you give is actually good, gives them something valuable, then they're just more likely to be interested, right? And most people, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Like if someone walked up to you on the street and said, I have a thing like that you could probably buy, you'd be like, fuck off. Like, you know, But if you walk past their shop, 10 times a day and you've seen the sign and you're like, oh, it might be something I'm interested in. And then one day you walk in, right? You just have to give them that benefit of the doubt. They need a little bit more touch points before the conversion, before you can push the CTA. So that's why I like to give sort of free, I'm kind of leaking into my next slide, but
Can I just ask, are you speaking about Instagram? LinkedIn?
Yeah, I should have clarified. So I focus primarily on Instagram. So I love YouTube and, I'm a great proponent of YouTube. I'd never claim myself to be a YouTube expert. I focus primarily on Instagram.
Covering all bases here today.
So pivot number 3 in Mike's case was introducing an actual sales system. So this is what I've already just touched on a little bit, right? So he had no clear cut path for customers to go. Maybe it was just a link in bio that people would passively click, but there was just no real system in place, right? So we added 2 routes for people to go. And this is, everyone can implement this today. It's not that hard to set up. First is an indoctrination path. Second is a sales path.
Building the cult. One of us. This is my cult.
So in the indoctrination path, I just like to send people to one, it's like a main trust asset on YouTube of just pure value, 20 to 30 minutes. And you might just be covering 5 steps or 6 pillars of your protocol, your system, whatever that may be to achieve the result that you want people to achieve. And in that video, you can do sort of subtle selling, very soft CTAs. In the middle of the video, you could be halfway through point 3 and be like, by the way, guys, if you want my help with this, link in bio, you won't regret it. Anyway, point 4, very quick, very subtle, not a hard sell. It's a pure, the whole point of this asset is to indoctrinate, right? If someone's here in cold, they see your video, and over here is they're buying from you, right? There's a big gap to move them along this sort of journey from cold, don't want to buy to, okay, here's my credit card, right? This asset gets them like here. And then the sales call is to get them over the last little line, okay? So this indoctrination value, it's just pure value, 20 to 30 minutes. You're explaining the what and the why, but not the how. You're not digging into the specific, every day do this, do that, do that, do that. It's like, this is what you need to do. This is why you need to do it. The how is like when they work with you and they actually pay you, right?
Just to clarify, is this like some link that you send people to in the conversations, replying conversations, or just like
everywhere? So you can have it link in bio behind an opt-in page. So you collect data off that, and then you can obviously contact those people that opt in. Second is when you're having just conversations in the DMs, just passively sounds like, hey, I think this could help you. Like, take a look at that, and then ask a question that can move the conversation on to potentially booking a call. But most important is the ManyChat automation. Everybody knows about ManyChat. Everyone's been doing it.
But so you're sending a link along with the ManyChat. Would that be to an email list or?
So the way I like to do it, and I think most people, they don't do these right because they're not using ManyChat as a point of making the video get pushed out to more people in the algorithm. And secondly, they're not using it as an opportunity to build the list. So the way I like to do it is comment word for the free thing, send them a message. It's like, hey, do you want me to send you the free thing? Button that says, yes, send me the thing. And then it's like, great, what's your email? What's the best email to send it to? Email. Okay, here's the link to the thing anyway. Like, but you have the email, there's the link. But the real magic comes when you ask them the question after that link, which is, I'll be online for a few more minutes. I'm just curious, what inspired you to get the thing? Yeah. And what you'll get after that is just people writing 3 paragraphs of their fucking life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, here's why, here's what I'm going through, here's all the pain points, seen your content, not happy with where I am. Here's where I want to be. Prime, like you just have the ultimate setter conversation to start going through that flow, to then start booking sales calls and figuring out if you can help that person, if they can afford you, right? Nice. So people are not using these automations the right way. They just send you the thing, no opt-in, no potential to kick off a conversation. They're just leaving. If you have like 1,000 comments and you don't have this, the amount of potential high ticket clients you're leaving on this, it's insane, right? So that's the indoctrination path, right? Now, obviously this can kick off a sales conversation just through what I just said, but the primary focus of that asset is just to get them to know you, like you, trust you, all that stuff, understand what you're about, the value that you can give. And then that's going to make them more likely to buy when you do eventually do a CTA, right? So second route is the sales path. And this is just classic direct to VSL page with an application underneath to pre-qualify, or just a Calendly, or both. And each automation triggers a manual appointment setter conversation every single time. So whatever it is that you're sending, free thing, or you're sending someone specifically comments to work with you, you're always wanting to get either yourself or an appointment setter in to handle that conversation, pre-qualify, book them on for a call. And I think this is the last slide, actually. So the results of everything, those are all the pivots we did for Mike, right? The results of all of this was he went from selling a commoditized offer, 30-something thousand followers. Now he's an in-demand authority. Now he's collaborating with some huge influencers, if you look at his IG, whatever. So audience grew by 130,000 Instagram followers in 2 months, millions of views, approx 200K in revenue on the new offer that we launched. Audience is indoctrinated with our way of thinking through the indoctrination path and the content. So it means that you can close easier in the sales process because they just get on the call, they think like you, they act like you, they want to take action. Higher income people now follow us, more entrepreneurs, more serious people. Next goal, of course, is $1 million cash collected. And I do believe that if he plays his cards right, Mike, within the next 2 to 3 years, can probably build that into an 8-figure per year brand, kind of like an Andy Elliott, but more in the fitness kind of space. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything. I want to open it up now to Q&A. I promise I wouldn't speak all day, but if anyone has specific questions.
Smash that, first of all. Really made me realize like I need to have so much better ManyChat automations. I'm literally like DM for a link, but I really need to be utilizing it properly. Yeah. But man, like you're so structured and everything. I'll be hitting you up after this straight away. But yeah, let's go.
I have a question. How can you still generalize content, help people like with free stuff, and still target the high income people without changing your content too much? Is it possible? Do you have to like change your content to speak to those people?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to attract a specific kind of person, like you're only going to attract them by speaking specifically to them, right? If just to go back to Ben, if he made a video saying about like if you've been in a car crash and you can't walk, here's what you need to know. No one else who hasn't been in a car crash and can't walk isn't going to watch that video, right? So you may get less views because it's a smaller, subsect of people, but still you will get put in front of people that just resonate with that, right? So with the magic ratio, the top of funnel, middle funnel. So top is where you don't have to be so specific in your messaging to those people. That style of content is solely designed to get more views and basically get you in good standing on the algorithm. Because the more views you get on that side, the more views they're just going to give your middle funnel, your more niche videos, right? So that's just designed to get you more awareness. The middle funnel is designed to pick out the people that came in through that are specifically interested in your specific thing, and also to attract new people as well, because it will get shared to new people. So yeah, you do need to put out basically new content.
Are you pushing that content with ads then as well, target different people, or a different demographic?
Well, yeah, with ads again, like it's all about, and I'm not like some ads expert, but I do know a good amount about it. But with ads as well, yeah, you also have to call in the specific, demographic in your hook. Like if you're not calling out that hyper specific person, that specific person that you want to, they're not going to stop. They're just going to swipe by because they don't think it's for them. If you want it to be for someone, it has to speak specifically to them. Their wants, their desires, who they are, what they do, the kind of results that they want, their insecurities, whatever it is, you have to call that out specifically if you want to be talking to those kind of people.
Yeah.
It's the hook. Yeah. It's the hook.
For sure. George.
In this case that you talk about, Mike, the goal of the conversation in the DMs is to book the call, or do you convert in the DMs?
Book the call. Book the call. Yeah, you can. I mean, it depends how strong your personal. If you have a brand like Rob, he could close in the DMs, right? He's just.
I don't do calls.
No.
That's I've got some presentation after this about like it's interesting. It's about how you never have to jump on a call again in your life. But it's difficult.
Yeah,
it's
you
difficult.
can set it up in a way where you can close without calls. But if you're starting from a smaller audience, it's going to be very difficult to convert a high ticket program on a call. Can be done, but it's harder.
What's Mike's sales team like? How many does he have closers or does he do it himself?
So since the offer's new,
I have done many calls myself.
Yeah.
So
since the offer's new, he's starting to build out that team. That's process that we're going through, all the real back end systems, CRMs, the closers. I think he just took on a closer like last week or a head of sales or something like that. But setter, closer, yeah,
nice.
Sorry, a follow-up question to that. My biggest problem is that I get on the phone with, and the most common objection I get is I can't afford it.
What are you charging and what are you selling?
I'm selling fitness coaching for like 12 to 16 weeks, and I'm charging like my $250 per month. So do you think it's content problem that I'm not speaking to the right people, and so I get lots of low quality leads?
Yeah. Price objections don't happen when you speak to really rich people.
Okay.
They
I need to just adjust my content to speak to people that can afford that.
Yeah, it's not just speaking to rich people. It's about speaking to people with a specific high pain problem. If you, and just to keep going back to Ben, because he's just a very convenient example, right? I've been telling Ben that if he builds an offer around exactly what he went through, which is devastating accident, couldn't walk, rehab, can now walk, and can now bench and do all this stuff, right? But imagine he targeted that towards athletes or just people in general, right? He'd get clients that are just regular people that can pay, but also towards athletes, right? So it's people that A, have a big loss because of not fixing the problem, or B, people who have a lot to gain by fixing the problem, right? So with Ben's example, right, if he just wanted to sell a normal fitness coaching offer, you're lumping yourself in with these millions of people that are selling basically the same thing. I think you said before, there's only, 1 pint of grab.
There's only so much 3 sets of 8 someone can sell.
So like everyone's saying the same thing. So you have to find a way to differentiate, right? So people with hyper specific problems, they're willing to pay a lot more because there's less specialists for it. And if it's a specific problem that's really causing them a lot of issues and discomfort in life, they're willing to fix it. And so, it's all just about exactly how you're framing it and who you're targeting it to. What is the group of people and what specific issue do they have? And target your thing as a solution to fix that.
Is there any niche that you consider too small? Or because I'm working with a lot of fitness coaches and generally new ones, and also in Norway, which is a small market.
Yeah.
Like the issue I have is for some people they don't get traction choosing a niche, and is it because of their content and the positioning, or is the niche too small? What's your thought on that?
If the niche is too small, you just got to accept the fact that you're never going to get big views, right? But you have to have the right systems in place to convert the views and the engagement that you're already getting, right? So I consulted a client, I think it was like 2 years ago, and they're in the US, and they sold consulting on this like scientific thing. It's called quantum biology, right? Long story short, they claim that the sun can cure diseases or whatever, right? It's a very new field of science, super niche. I don't know how many people are interested in it, right? But they were specifically wanting to work with doctors in the US, which is only like 100,000 people who were interested in quantum biology, which is like maybe 10, 15, 20,000 people at max, right? They were able to get their followers up at the time to 10,000, now they're at 20,000. So they basically have almost the whole market in their following list, right? But their views are so small. It's like 500 views to the max, like 5K, maximum 5K. But they were able to attract all of those people into their funnel because they were the only people really speaking that specific language, right? The first launch they did $80K US on an 8K product. It was an 8K certification to help doctors get certified in this new field of science so they can then practice it legally on patients, right? You can't get more niche than that, right? Like Norway, how many people? Like 6 million, 7 million?
Yes.
You need 1%, you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's plenty of rich people in Norway.
Yeah.
And so
very well put together country.
You know what I mean? It's like
Most people can pay. So it's just to just find something, as long as it's like you can imagine it's like 20,000 people that are good.
Yeah.
Kind of like just have something to go after.
Yeah.
And also people that can relate to, like, you know, Mariah has a very hardcore Dutch audience. As you can see in this room, I've got a very hardcore Irish audience. You know, people could just relate to people that they're similar to, you know, so that is in itself a huge advantage if you were to pitch your service to Norwegian people.
Yeah, definitely, because that's what the coaches are like worried about. It's basically, is it my niche?
Yeah.
Like, because I have to pick the niche, and they're like, oh, is it the niche that's wrong?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I just think you need to work on your positioning and your content to just nail it to hit these people.
And
it's basically hard.
And you also have this big advantage is that I assume you speak Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is your content all in Norwegian?
No, yeah.
It is?
Yeah, no. It is. I was considering changing
Yeah.
to English.
I know a guy that he's German, obviously speaks German. And he literally copy pasted Iman Kadzi's offer to the German market. I mean, copy. And when I say copy pasted, I mean ChatGPT, English to German, ran it. Same VSL, same as. Not ethical, but I'm just trying to say that the fact that he could just put it in a different language.
Mariah's definitely doing that in Dutch. and we have no idea. I'm like, Mariah drops me a bit. I'm like, oh, sick. 10,000 calorie
So for you, it's actually
Scottish.
easier. So for you, it's even easier. You just have to look at a successful offer in the English-speaking market and just do that in Norwegian.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
coaches basically, because I'm a consultant agency.
Yeah.
And so for the coaches, just look at the English speaking and just kind of implement that into the Norwegian.
Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel because like your language is almost like your niche already.
Yeah.
Like in the English world, like there's so many countries and people, and obviously almost every other country speaks English as well. So it's like, then you have to get more, it's more sophisticated. Then you have to get more unique with your marketing angles. In a more niche language, you kind of are a little bit lucky in that sense that you can just kind of do what's already working. And it's been working in the English speaking countries, but no one's really done it in Norway. So that's your opportunity.
Steal them English content. There's actually Joe Will Tennyson, the YouTuber. He put on his story the other day. There's a Brazilian YouTuber, like obviously speaks Portuguese, that copies Will's videos. I mean, they're this minute by minute. Like they're the exact same minute, like long, and they're the exact same thumbnail. And he just says the same thing and he does the same thing, like reviewing the cheapest gym in Brazil, copies it word for word. And Will was like, what the fuck do I do about this? He was like, I can't understand what he's saying. So just guys, you know, move to Brazil or Norway and just take all the English content. I'm joking, but it happens. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so I'm more of like an analytic data type. So looking at some of those percentages, are there any, I guess looking from a conversion standpoint, pro tips that might spike that from 60% even up to 62, 65% to close, or even just jump on a booking call, coaching call?
In terms of things that you can do to improve show-up rates and close rates?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that indoctrination path is a big thing. It's like you just want to give them that value up front, right? Then, and this is something that I actually learned from a guy called Jeremy Haynes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jeremy Haynes.
Yeah.
He's a big proponent of this thing called the FAQ page. So after you book the call, you just have a page with like as many FAQs as you. So how does it work? How much does it cost? Do I have to go to the gym? Do I have to, do an extreme diet? Do I have all the typical things you have ever been asked? You make a 30-second to 3-minute long video, however long it takes to answer, and you just bluntly answer it.
And that's better in video format compared to like, let's say a type.
100%.
Yeah.
And then on the thumbnail, you put the question. So how much does it cost? Do I have to go to the gym? Do I have to do an extreme diet? You put that on the thumbnail with you sitting there. So it's like text under your face. You can just embed it on Vimeo or Wistia or something like that.
It's on the public page as well, you call it.
Only if someone books the call. So they book the call, and either if they booked it themselves, so if they book the calls themselves, it'll redirect to that page. Or if you manually book them through Setter, then you tell them, super important, you have to watch these videos first before you get on the call.
It's like a layer of privacy.
Yeah, so you just get them. And the amount of, like, since I started implementing that, like over 6 months ago, the amount of times that I've heard people just saying, I love that you did that FAQ. It was so professional. I love that you put that info there. It just improves the trust. It gets, all the BS questions out of the way. So you can really get down to like, do you want to pay for this? Yes or no? Yeah. Right? And it just answers a lot of that stuff. So
I found that too with like my professional football agency that I have. It takes away all that guesswork, the extra time that you have to put in to answer those questions. So I've done that now in video format, and then I do a lot of voice memos just because it's being a small team, so I can still do that. But I was just curious if there was any other ways to sort of optimize that flow, make it more efficient. But it sounds like
that's the one way, and then you can just basically duplicate that over to email form. And you could even just, it depends what your kind of lead, your sales volume is. You could have someone ring up in advance and sort of pre-qualify them. It depends if you have a lot of calls. If you don't have that many, don't worry. But again, reaching out via WhatsApp, just to have a quick chat beforehand, send voice notes so they know it's you, so they don't think it's some AI or a setter. Get that touch point before the call, send them that stuff again. Like, here's that link you should look at. Here's something that I think would be valuable for you. Then you get on the call, and then hopefully they've gone through a lot of that stuff. A lot of times they won't, just to be real. Like, a lot of times they're just lazy and they won't go through it. But it's better to give them that info before and hope they consume it, and maybe check in if they have consumed it or not, than just giving them nothing. And that just brings them closer to the sale, 100%.
Yeah, because I can just say that's the reason I'm here, because Rob, out of everybody, was the one who sent a voice note back.
Yeah.
I think I even said it that first voice note.
I tend to not get on a call. I honestly do like 2 hours a day where I'll just like walk around my back garden. I spend 90% of my life on that strip, going between the ice bath and the gym, and I'll just hammer out like 2 hours or even an hour, like an hour of voice notes because I do run ManyChat automations and everything, but it's obviously like I don't pretend it's me, but then when I do, and there's nothing that I can't replicate a voice note yet. It's tried to. I don't think it's there yet. It's like can't do my accent, like the strangest accent on the planet, like South Dublin accent. It's not even a typical Irish accent. It's a weird one. And so I just hammer out like an hour of voice notes in the DMs every day. And there we go. Got a client testimonial right there. There we are. Yeah. Now we hear. So there we go. Yeah.
So obviously, like with your, I've got like 5,000 followers. So with that example, you obviously start with like 30, 40. So from that point, it's then in my mind, it's then easier because you've already got like 40,000 subscribers. So like the chance of you having some high ticket clients and then going off the back a little bit. Like my world is like bodybuilding, fitness industry. Like that's like as much as I coach lifestyle, like I do coach competitive. But obviously, I also want to coach everyone. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to niche myself as it is. So it's like I have had high level clientele, but they also still bargain a price. Do you know what I mean? They also don't just pay willy-nilly and stuff like this. But it's like how you actually get to that demographic, do you know what I mean, without completely
saying, are you rich?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, like people say, LinkedIn and stuff like that, and that just seems like a minefield itself, like not as straightforward as like Instagram and things like this.
Yeah.
It's like how like, because I'm confident in my knowledge and my expertise that I could deliver to anyone, and every high income person has got the same problems as a low income person when it comes to their fitness goals and everything like this. Do you know what I mean? They're all either fat or healthy, or it's the same problem. So it's no different to a low ticket person to a high ticket person. Then it's I don't get that cross section in terms of now I'm stepping towards the high ticket person without detrimenting my current business.
Yeah. So a couple things. So one, it's not just about saying, are you rich? Don't do that. It's like, it doesn't work, Are you rich? Like it doesn't work like that. It's about speaking specifically to sorry, what do you sell specifically?
So I'm a bodybuilder lifestyle coach, like competitive clients and just general lifestyle.
So you help people get ready for shows?
Yeah, I also 12 week plans. I literally sell monthly coaching, minimum 2 months, but monthly rolling up.
Yeah.
£160.
So like the pro bodybuilder, like they might face different emotions and problems than a new amateur bodybuilder because they're just deep in the space. They're competing against people that are also on their level, that have been doing it for God knows how many years, right? So if you really analyze the difference between a pro and an amateur, and I don't know about the income differences between the two, I'm not in the space, but they will have different pains. They'll have different opinions, different emotions, right? Amateur versus pro, right? So it's not just about saying, are you rich? It's about thinking about what the specific problems they're facing, right? So it's with this example with Mike, it was like, it's not just like, are you rich, buy my thing? It's like, one video that we did in particular was, like I said earlier, it's like, bro, you've built this amazing business. Why are you fucking fat? It's like, or why are you like, letting yourself, why are you putting off what you said you would put off, right? And that just leaks into many things, right? So it's not just about, are you rich? It's about what specific problems are they facing.
Yeah. And so to interject there, actually, so the key there was like Mike was answering business owners' problems. Business owners have more money than students. So if you're doing like student meal prep videos, you're going to attract like beyond non-buyers, you know, like there's no way a student can afford that. So I think to answer your question more directly, the content does the perfect example. Mike was literally like business owners. So that content's going to hit business owners who have money. Whereas like, that's a perfect example. Business owners talking about their problem versus student meal prep.
And just to piggyback on that. So we actually then, wasn't my choice, but Mike wanted to speak more on relationship stuff, right? And it was more about like what women wanted to see in men. It's like, she doesn't respect you because X, Y, and Z, right? Then we just got like thousands of women comments and women followers, and then they're like, oh, fuck, the leads are dry like this week. And I'm like, yeah, because you posted 5 fucking videos.
Women as well.
No, but that was the issue. It's like he then put out the specific kind of content that would attract them, and then the leads, dried up. I was like, bro, stop doing it. Whatever video you recorded of that, just delete it. Let's do something else. But on the thing you said about the 5,000 followers, so this goes back to what David was saying earlier, right? Where it's no longer really about how many followers you have already. It's about each new piece of content is an opportunity to get to new people. That's why new creators are getting shown to wider audiences, right? If the content is good. So it actually doesn't matter how many followers you have off the rip. You actually have maybe a little bit less so, but still pretty much almost an even playing field to get out there. If Rob pulls up his reels, bet it'll be anywhere between 50 to 70 or 80% non-followers viewing his reels, especially on the more viral ones, right? So reels are designed to be put in front of non-followers, people who have not seen you yet. Your photo posts and your stories will get put in front of existing followers. So if you want to post to get out to your current following, post a photo, carousel, just a regular photo, long caption, or post a story, right? If you want something to go to new followers, majority, it'll still get shown to existing, 30, 40, sometimes 50%. But if you want a piece of content to go out to new people and hit the explore page, you do reels. So it actually doesn't matter how many followers you're starting with. Of course, if you have a lot more, sure, like you're just past like escape velocity, you can pop off a lot easier, but I wouldn't even say 30,000 is like that. You're talking hundreds of thousands, you know what I mean? Then you're like a recognizable face, and your face is the hook. Actually, all of the rules that I'm talking about here today can be broken if you're famous, right? Like C-Bum could post a video of him just eating a fucking burrito and it would get 1 million views, you know what I mean? Whereas if you did that, it would get 200 views, right? So it's like the rules can be broken when you're famous, but it's actually good because no matter how many followers you have, if it's fucking none or 5,000 or whatever, you're still on the same playing field as people who have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, because that reel still has almost the same chance of reaching essentially the mass market as they do.
And
so
in the case of Mike now, for example, was it mostly reels he was posting?
Oh yeah,
mostly reels. So mostly reels, but also this is a piece of content that people don't do is carousels with music. So we actually had a carousel go viral. It hit like 2 million views just on a photo carousel, right? If you post a photo carousel and it has no music, it stays in your profile to your existing followers. If you put music on it, it can be shown as a reel, right? So we did, he has like a story of like he made all this money, went on like a Wolf of Wall Street bender for a few years, like spent it all crazy, bounced back from there, right? So slide by slide, text on screen. It's like, I was here, rock bottom, him fucking, passed out or whatever. Then I started getting disciplined, cold punch photo, and it's like a story step by step. And then it's
like a presentation, like, literally.
But because it had music on it, it would get shown as a reel. And then that actually went viral. So primarily reels, but you can also do these photo carousels with music that can be shown as a reel as well. With text on the photo itself.
Yeah, on the photo,
But like a very short, snappy one.
Yeah, so Arthur.
Yeah, so to chime in on this, would you say it's important to make like personas or to keep it as broad as business people? So, and let the algorithm do the work. Or would you say you should make a different personas, people having different businesses, and then make the content specific?
You mean profile or persona? What do you mean by persona?
Like a specific kind of customer that you're speaking to?
Yeah.
When you're small, yes. When you're as big as Rob, it doesn't matter as much, because once you get like to a few 100,000 followers, you're in the mass market. You know what I mean? It's like you can speak to everybody, right? But when you're a bit smaller, it's better to specialize in an area. And again, that's how you can charge more, because you're solving a specific problem, not just a generic problem, right? So yeah, 100%. I would definitely to go back.
Like business, you focusing on business people to make profiles of different business people and then try to make content.
Suppose you could, yeah.
I'm actually going to make a separate Instagram page. I've already started a separate YouTube channel, actually. I've yet to post on it. It's just called like Rob Lips of Business that I'm going to start going in on pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Yeah, you guys will be my first subscribers. it's always day one. You know, it's all 10 years in the game. Exactly. Yeah, it's back. Yeah, no, but having if it's so wildly different, like in my vlogs and stuff, I will still speak about business and everything, and I'll still always go hard on that channel. But if it's completely different, like, you know, killer bicep workout versus like how a fitness coach should grow their business, it's probably better to separate them. Flies doing fucking numbers in this room, yeah. So here we run on time, so we'll do Cian, do two one more after this.
So I'm just about to launch my coaching, and so for that, how would you go about designing your offer, like with defining like your ideal client? Like how do you think I should go about specifying? Like right now, like I don't know who to target. So how would you go about defining that?
Do you have any like kind of specialist knowledge or specialist experience or anything, or unique story or anything like that?
It's recess page, yeah. I would literally just think about like anything that makes you unique, storytelling, whatever. And look, my thing's actually about this. It's for people just starting out. You're actually the inspiration behind the presentation I'm about to. Yeah, I swear to you, like seriously. But I would just start getting experience, start getting reviews and testimonials, and I wouldn't worry about going like ultra specific. Right now you're literally just about get experience, you know. Get like 5 clients first to like work on and build testimonials, you know. And they could just be simple, like guys in their 20s, whoever. You go into your audience on your Instagram analytics, just see what's the most common denominator, speak to those guys because they're already there.
This one's had a hand up for a while.
Yeah, for the pricing, I haven't sold anything where I've only just started with the social media. But I think I do boxing for the Olympic development team. And I have a good resume in terms of experience. Does that mean I can charge like a high, you know, price straight away, or do I have to start, you know, from the bottom kind of?
Yeah, I would still get just testimonials and clients in the door first, but then after you get your first 10 or whatever it is, then you could definitely add more because you've got some certifications essentially.
Especially if you have so you help boxers get into the Olympic. What is it specifically you do?
I train with the high performance, so I'm up with the highest level of boxing you can do.
Okay.
So
like pros or like Olympic type people, or
Olympic.
So you're helping them try to get a medal.
I am training for the Olympics.
Okay. Okay. Well then,
I would use that. Like I would use the word Olympics.
I would make know for you specifically, you could make that a series. Like when is the Olympics? I don't know. 2020. Fucking it doesn't have the year.
Yeah. Come do a big long ass YouTube series.
That's a fucking series.
yeah.
Anyway, start somewhere with that. But like that's a great concept. Like that sets you apart from everybody else. That makes you unique. Again, keep going back to Ben, like with his whole story and recovering it, that makes him unique. So he was going to go with the general path of like, you know, meal plans and workouts. But I'm like, bro, you have something different and specific and unique and actually very high paying. You also have something unique and different. You're in this boxing Olympic world. You could theoretically go on and get a bronze or silver or a gold, right? You could then eventually coach someone else that could also get a medal. Once you have that and that social proof, or at least you just like there photos of you at the Olympics, right? Then you can go on to build this amazing brand. There's a guy, Tony Jeffries, you've seen him?
Yeah.
So I don't even think he was that, you know, successful in terms of a pro thing, but he won like a bronze or a silver, you know, so like, he's done the same thing, you know what I mean? So like he just teaches boxing, and I'm sure he has some kind of high ticket program to learn boxing with him, right? So obviously he's a great deal older, but and a lot of experience, but it's the same thing. You're just a lot younger. So you could actually build a brand like that. You could just be posting boxing tutorials on YouTube for now. You could post vlogs about how you're training to get in shape for the Olympics, and you could start building your authority in that space. And then it'll culminate, you know, you at the Olympics. Maybe you have a huge following by then, and you can then be vlogging the whole Olympic experience, right? You're talking 3 years, like that was 2 months. You know what I mean?
It's time to plant the seed now.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Yeah.
That happened in 2 months, basically. So it's like,
and also, that like, you know, follower growth. I know Mike was on my podcast about like a year or two ago. Like that should be very motivating. Like if you literally just post reels every day, you can change your life and change your business in months.
100%.
It's crazy.
100%.
No, all
not
organic,
a single penny spent on
He had like a few reels. You can go to his page and you'll see they have like 40 million views or something. There was like a morning routine one or something. But yeah, you could.
What do you make of going paid or organic?
They both have their place.
Yeah.
It depends where you're at in business, like how much money you have to. The thing with paid ads, if you're going to go cold paid ads, like you need to be in a financial place where you could literally put 20 grand there and fucking burn it and be no emotions about it. Like that's actually what paid ads is. It's like gambling with like a higher chance of winning. You know what I mean? It is actually that risky. Like you need to be able to have a place where it's like, I've got 20 grand. I could light it on fire and I won't feel any negative effects from it, because that is most likely going to happen with paid ads, right?
Yeah.
With organic, it's a lot less risk. You can post a reel for free, you know, and go viral and, you know, get big, right?
Yeah.
So at a certain point, you need both, right? If you're doing well on paid, you have to implement organic. If you're doing well on organic, you have to start implementing paid. It's like an ecosystem, because someone will see an ad, they'll go into your profile. If you've got no followers, they're just going to go away, you know? But if you click on an ad profile, they see you have 50K, 100K followers, whatever it is, then they're like, okay, legit. Then they go through your link in bio to work with you, right?
And it says, if you see sponsored ads, it actually says followed by, and it has all your mutuals.
Yeah, that's a big thing as
that's
well.
That's absolutely massive. So personally, I think until you build a little, as much organic as possible, to be completely real with you, it's pretty pointless running ads, you know? Yeah. Nice. All right, here, fucking fire, bro. Absolutely smash that. The fact that like every single talk, everyone is like wants it to keep going. We're going well over time.